Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Let me share quickly my screen and go on with the presentation. So let me go on the presentation mode to make it easier for you to see. So once again, a real pleasure to be here with you and to talk to you about this topic. It's a very important one, and I'm very happy to be coming after Dr. Shabazz, who has really set the stage and presented the background issues that will hopefully take on continuing the discussion in a moment. But before I go into that, I just want to take a minute to talk about the CGIAR, because IMI has an organization, is a member of the CGIAR. Actually, it's a network of research centers. There are a number of things that are showing on my screen. It's a bit disturbing. The CGIAR is a global research partnership. So the whole network of organizations are looking at issues such as poverty reduction, enhancing food and nutrition security, making sure that we address issues with management of natural resources. So as an organization, we work, I would say, in over 75 countries. We have representations. We are working with a wide range of partners, of course, academics, NGOs, CSOs, and name it, a number of organizations, research centers, and so on. And we are present in, as you can see on this map, these are where the headquarters of the different centers that are part of the CGIAR are located. And as I said, I'm coming from the International Water Management Institute, and our mission as an organization is to work towards a water secure world. So going now into the subject, I want to take this subject and to present it to you in a structured way. I will start with the SDG targets, just building on what my predecessor has mentioned, what are those targets and what are the baseline, where we stand at the moment, especially focusing on the region that we are interested in South Asia, and also Asia as a broad region. We want then to move into what kind of solutions can help us build back better, and some of these elements have been touched upon in the previous presentation. I'll try and pick them up and continue around that. And then I'll conclude my presentation by really emphasizing the need for collaboration, because it is obvious that without collaboration, it won't be possible to achieve the kind of targets, the kind of ambitious targets that we have when it comes to achieving the targets of SDG-6. So let's start from the beginning. SDG-6 is one of the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, that have been adopted early. Let's say, we have been enforcing them, or at least working towards their implementation since 2016, so a couple of years ago. This particular goal has 6 targets and 2 sub-targets, and overall 9 indicators are being used to monitor the progress that is being achieved under this SDG-6. And some of these indicators were presented in the previous presentation. Globally, and this has been mentioned already, a number of countries, quite a large number of countries, are not on track when it comes to the target. And many countries will not, at this phase, will not be able to confirm that they are able to achieve sustainable management of water resources by the 2030 target that we know. And for that, to that, there are a number of reasons. There are factors that are causing that, and we'll look into them in the details. But let's go into more details, more specifics on these numbers. So these are the statistics for 2020. 26% of the global population doesn't have access to safely managed drinking water. And this, if you look at the South Asia region, this is mostly happening in the rural areas, where now we are talking about 8 in 10 people who do not necessarily have access to safe water. When it goes to sanitation, we are talking about 46% of the global population that does not have access to proper sanitation. And finally, hygiene, still not available for 29% of the population. So these issues that we know already, they cascade into other SDGs. So they have an impact on many other SDGs, like poverty, like gender equality, and also climate change. But then we have to also deal with other issues. And I heard at the beginning, Ms. Simi Kamal mentioned that the next conference is going to talk about climate change, and climate change indeed is important. But before I talk about it, let's touch on urbanization. So urbanization is a threat for water. It's going to lead into an increase in the water demand. Many sectors, be it domestic, agricultural, or industrial, water demand will increase as a result of that. And it means that we need to find more solutions to proactively ensure that water is distributed fairly among all the sectors. So resources will become much more scarce in the context that the region already is in a way already scarce in terms of water availability. And then the climate change, the impacts that are expected. Higher temperatures, a rise in the sea level, extreme weather events, so droughts on the one hand, floods on the other hand. All of this we know has an impact on natural and capital and physical assets. It has an impact on, other issues like poverty. It can destroy resources, reduce food availability, and affect public health. So these are issues that we need to also keep in mind. It's not only about COVID, but there are also other issues, like I said, the urbanization, the climate change, that we also need to bring into the perspective if you want to accelerate the achieving of the SDG-6. So what is the solution that I am proposing? Of course, I understand that there is not a single solution that can address all the problems that we have discussed. But I want to go back to something that was said, has been discussed in the previous conference, which was the need for building local circular economy principles into the practices that we have at the moment. And this, I believe, can really bring in a number of positive elements that can help in the building back better effort to make sure that there is more sustainability in the implementation of a number of measures. So collaboration. So collaboration is extremely key, and it's only through collaboration that we are going to accelerate the transformation for this SDG-6 targets. And this paper actually has been published. It's a framework that has been released recently, and I think it's a very interesting one. This SDG Acceleration Framework, it comes with 5 key elements that have to be taken into account for the issues to really be tackled. And the first one is on data and information, making sure that we have enough data and sufficient information to inform the issues and to address the issues, financing and supporting governance, innovation to address the issues in a very effective way. And finally, capacity development. So we understand that capacity development is needed if you want to accelerate SDG-6 in the context of this COVID-19 pandemic. So this report has been published by the UN Water, and I do encourage you to have a look at it because this framework is very interesting. So it can really help address the issues. It can help, I would say, understand the COVID-19 impact and really drive the implementation of SDG-6. Moving into, yes, the next slide. Sorry, it's taking a bit of time. Yes, linking with other sectors is also very important. Like I said, the pandemic has had different impacts. The impacts have been, quite mixed. Some were positive, others were less positive. But then we understand now that it's, we need to move forward. We need to find a way to integrate all these issues into the picture, to consider all the limits, all the opportunities, and to drive and to design something that is much stronger for the future. So I wish to thank you all very much for your attention and also for giving me the opportunity to talk about this subject. Thank you.
डॉक्टर जोजेन नकीमा, आप सबको मेरी तरफ से शाम बखैर। मुझे इस प्रोग्राम में शिरकत करके बहुत खुशी महसूस हो रही है। ये एक बहुत अहम मौजू है और मुझे उम्मीद है कि डॉक्टर शहबाज ने जिस तरह इस मौजू पर रोशनी डाली है, मैं इसे आगे बढ़ा सकूं और इस पर बात कर सकूं। लेकिन आगे बढ़ने से पहले मैं यहाँ CGIAR के हवाले से बात करना चाहूँगी, जो कि आप इस वक्त स्क्रीन पर देख सकते हैं। CGIAR एक मुश्तरका आलमी तहकीकी इदारा है जो कि गुर्बत के खात्मे, खुराक की बहाली और ग़िज़ाई तहफ़्फ़ुज़ और कुदरती वसाइल को बेहतर बनाने के लिए सरगर्म अमल है। ये इदारा 75 से ज़ायद तरक्की पजीर ममालिक में 3000 से ज़ायद शराकतदारों के साथ काम कर रहा है, जिनमें NGOs, CSOs, तालीमी और तहकीकी इदारे शामिल हैं। اور جیسا کہ میں نے بتایا کہ میں IWMI سے آئی ہوں، ہمارے ادارے کا مقصد دنیا میں آبی تحفظ کو یقینی بنانا ہے، لہٰذا موضوع کی طرف آتے ہیں۔ SDG-6 کے اہداف اور بنیاد کے بارے میں بات کروں گی، نہ صرف ایشیا بلکہ دوسرے خطوں میں کیسے ان کو بہتر بنانے کے لیے حل نکالے جا سکتے ہیں، اور آخر میں ان تمام عوامل میں تبدیلی کو تیز کرنے کے لیے باہمی تعاون پر بات ہوگی، کیونکہ باہمی تعاون کے بغیر ہم اس مسئلے کا حل نہیں نکال سکیں گے۔ تو شروع کرتے ہیں SDG-6 کے اہداف اور بنیاد سے۔ SDG-6 کے کل 6 اہداف ہیں، 2 ذیلی اہداف اور 9 اشارے ہیں جو کہ اس پر سیشن میں شامل ہیں۔ SDG-6 کا مقصد سب کے لیے پانی کی فراہمی کو یقینی بنانا ہے، لیکن ابھی بھی بہت سے ممالک ایسے ہیں جہاں ان اہداف کو حاصل کرنے کے آغاز میں بلکہ تقریباً 129 ممالک ہیں۔ یہاں پائیدار منظم آبی وسائل کے ہدف کو حاصل کرنا 2030 تک بہت مشکل نظر آتا ہے۔ اس کی بہت سی وجوہات ہیں، آئیے ان وجوہات کا تفصیلی جائزہ لیتے ہیں۔ 2020 میں کی گئی ایک تحقیق کے مطابق 26% آبادی کو صاف پینے کا پانی میسر نہیں، بالخصوص اگر ہم ساؤتھ ایشیا کی بات کریں تو دیہی علاقوں میں 8 سے 10 لوگوں کو صاف پینے کے پانی تک رسائی حاصل نہیں۔ اس طرح اگر صفائی کے حوالے سے بات کی جائے تو 46% آبادی کو روزمرہ استعمال کے لیے پانی میسر نہیں۔ اس طرح 29% آبادی ایسی ہے جیسے حفظان صحت کے تحت استعمال ہونے والے پانی تک رسائی حاصل نہیں۔ ان تمام مسائل کا اثر دوسری SDGs پر بھی ہوتا ہے، جیسے غربت، منفی مساوات اور ماحولیاتی تبدیلی۔ جیسے کہ مس سیمی کمال نے شروع میں بتایا کہ اگلی کانفرنس میں ہم ماحولیاتی تبدیلی کے حوالے سے بات کریں گے، تو ماحولیاتی تبدیلی کی ایک بہت بڑی وجہ تیزی سے بڑھتی ہوئی شہری آبادی ہے۔ شہری آبادی میں پانی کی طلب بھی بڑھ رہی ہے، اور اس میں نہ صرف گھریلو بلکہ صنعتی اور آبپاشی شعبہ جات میں بھی اس کی طلب میں اضافہ ہوگا۔ لہٰذا ہمیں اس بات کا خیال رکھنا ہوگا کہ پانی کی فراہمی تمام شعبہ جات میں انصاف کے ساتھ ہو، اور اس کے بعد ماحولیاتی تبدیلی اور اس کے ایشیا پینسفلک خطے میں متوقع اثرات، جس میں درجہ حرارت کی زیادتی، سمندری چڑھاؤ، خشک سالی اور ایشیائی موسمی اثرات شامل ہیں۔ اس سے نہ صرف معیشت برباد ہو سکتی ہے بلکہ غربت، غذائی قلت اور عوامی صحت سے متعلق مسائل کی بھی بہت بڑی وجہ بن سکتی ہے۔ صرف کووڈ-19 ہی نہیں، اور بھی بہت سی وجوہات ہیں جن کا میں نے ابھی ذکر کیا۔ تو اب اس کا حل کیا ہے؟ میں کہہ رہی تھی کہ اس کا کوئی حل نہیں ہے۔ بہت سے ایسے عوامل اور عناصر ہیں جن کی مدد سے ہم اس کا حل نکال سکتے ہیں۔ جہاں تک میں سمجھتی ہوں یہ کام بغیر باہمی تعاون کے ممکن ہی نہیں۔ جیسا کہ آپ دیکھ سکتے ہیں کہ یہ ایک فریم ورک ہے جس کے ذریعے SDG-6 کو تیز کرنے میں مدد حاصل ہو سکتی ہے۔ سب سے پہلے تو ہمارے پاس اعداد و شمار ہونے چاہیے تاکہ ہم صحیح طریقے سے مسائل کو حل کر سکیں، اور پھر ہے صلاحیت کو بڑھانا، جو کہ بہت اہم نقطہ ہے۔ اس فریم ورک کے ذریعے ہم کووڈ-19 کے اثرات کو بہتر طریقے سے سمجھ سکتے ہیں اور SDG کی کارروائی کو تیز کر سکتے ہیں۔ اس کے بعد تمام اہم کرداروں کے ساتھ تعلق بہت اہمیت کا حامل ہے۔ اس طرح ہم مستقبل میں کامیاب ہو سکیں گے۔ بہت شکریہ۔